Torch of Olympus, Zeus's lightning, the ghostflamelantern, and the Chronoglyph. In this video, I'm going to be covering the 4 new artifacts in detail that Total Battle have released this year, why they absolutely are essential for every player and their growth, how to get them, as well as a few bonus tips along the way. As you can see from my last video, when I spoke about the Darkomens tournament, my might score has grown significantly thanks to mainly the new artifacts that I'll be talking about in this video. But before I do that, I want to congratulate the community because we've just gone over 9,000 subscribers. And honestly, this journey has been phenomenal. So from 0 to 9,000, I just want to say thank you so much to the entire community that have supported Total Battle's tutorial channel from the jump. So thank you for being here, tuning in, motivating me to make these tutorials as always. And what a year it's been. So this year, Total Battle released 2 new tournaments. We had the Trials of Olympus and we had the Darkomens tournament. Both these tournaments are where you can get the artifacts that I'll be talking about in this video from. And we've also recently just had an update. It seems like when you use your resources, you can actually use a slider bar to choose how much of the resources you want to use, which is really good because it saves, like I used to do, have to click that use button over and over again. But be very careful because say you're going to be using 1.5 million and you click all the way to the top, that is going straight into your city. And unfortunately, it's not reversible. So just be very careful when using that. So why are artifacts so important? In a nutshell, in this game, you will unlock captains that have specific features for specific tasks. The more you use the captains, the more experience they get and the more they level up, and that makes them better at the task. Then you want to give them equipment, give it the right gem, give it the right enchantment, which also makes them better at doing that task. And then once you've unlocked them, give them the artifact that also makes them better at that task. So for example here, Carter, he is specifically for Crypt exploration. So of course you want to give him an artifact, Torch of Olympus. Now the good thing about having artifacts is, unlike equipment, they do not wear out the more times you use them. So for equipment, it has durability. So every time you use it in battle, you need to repair it if it needs repairing, so it is effective. And eventually it will run out. So you have to craft new equipment and replace it. And you will also lose the enchantment that you assign to that bit of equipment. So you need to get new enchantments. However, with artifacts, once you've unlocked them, you've got them forever. And all you need to worry about is leveling up their stars, which you do by obtaining fragments, which you earn from the tournaments, and increasing their levels using artifact experience, which you can get from the summoning circle chests and specific tournaments like Pursuit of Experience, where you attack runic squads with your clan or on your own. So there are a lot of artifacts in this game. You will unlock them as you grow. Some will require you to do specific tournaments, which I'm going to talk about later on in this video. However, I'm not going to go through every single one of them. I'm going to focus on the 4 newest ones and why every player should have them. So around the start of this year, Total Battle released the Trials of Olympus tournament, which is a huge success. Most players will admit it's probably in their top 3 of tournaments that they like to play in Total Battle, especially in regards to getting the fragment needed to level up one of the most popular artifacts in the entire game, which is the Torch of Olympus. Because the days before the Torch of Olympus, Carter, players were having to level up all of his gear, get the gems, get the enchantments, and sometimes exploring a crypt, you just weren't hitting it in one shot. But now, when you have the Torch of Olympus and you have the ability to level it up every Trials of Olympus tournament, you can absolutely smash crypts, and it made life so much easier. The cost is cheaper, and yeah, he is just now unstoppable. You see Carter's cutting around everywhere in the game. It's absolutely amazing. Then we have Zeus's lightning, which at the start, hands up, I admit, I didn't really give it the credit that it deserves, but now the dominance, the leadership and the authority all increase as it levels up. Plus the chance to deal double damage. I absolutely love this. I've only recently discovered it, but if you see my videos where I explain about talent points, research, and now Zeus's lightning, probably the most easiest artifact to get fragments for, because it's always there in the shop. You can get 6 here, you can get 12 there, and if you get to reach points that require you and your clan to achieve, you can get an extra 20. In regards to getting the fragments for Torch of Olympus, that is dependent on how well your clan do in the Trials of Olympus against the other 2 clans that you're up against. First place, you get a significant amount that your clan leaders and superiors can distribute to you. So absolute game changers. Now, some would say, what would you use extra dominance, leadership, and authority for anyway? I'm pretty comfortable without it. If you're doing things like CP runs or defenses in forts, that is a really good opportunity to use Zeus's lightning, because potentially you increase your defenses as well as the amount of troops that you send on the CP run, hence getting more conquest points. Speaking of conquest points, CP runs, did you know, because I've only just discovered this, that in the Hall of Fame, these crystals here, I thought they were just there for aesthetics, but as you level up each house, you can click these crystals and you can raise the level of your Hall of Fame. It increases the conquest points, valor points, and experience points. I didn't even know that. I don't know how many other players didn't know that, but there you go. So I just keep leveling it up. And as you can see, you get a bonus in conquest points, valor points, and experience points, the more levels that you unlock. Yeah, extra tip for you. So the newest tournament that Total Battle have released this year is the Dark Omens tournament. The most important thing that you need to know about the Dark Omens tournament is how you can obtain these two incredible artifacts, the Ghostflamelantern and the Chronoglyph. The Ghostflamelantern is absolutely game changing for someone like myself that has the style of play that I play. When you unlock this artifact in the Dark Omens tournament, I promise you it will absolutely change everything about how you attack epic monsters, because it is directly for the strength of your entire army against epic monsters. I've got it up to a 2.1 star, and I've got it there from just doing one Dark Omens tournament. So I'm looking forward to the next one, because if I can get 2.1 stars from one, not only that, the random bonuses are looking pretty healthy. Army strength plus 10%, march speed against monsters 20%. So all in all, this Ghostflamelantern artifact is absolutely incredible. Speaking of the random bonuses, this is also something I absolutely love about artifacts. With all the fragments that you collect, you actually have the ability to change some of the random bonuses the more stars that you level up to. So for example, here on the Ghostflamelantern, yes, I've mentioned I have army strength 10%, march speed against monsters 20%. I like to keep it like that. However, if I wanted to change it, I could lock one that I want to definitely keep by clicking on it. So you see it locks it in place. And if I was to click change, it would use 6 fragments to see what I get next. But at the minute, army strength at 10%, I don't want to gamble it. I don't want to risk it. So I'll keep it as it is. Another thing to pay attention to as well is the more stars that you have. For example, here, my thunder drum, I currently have it at 4 stars. That allows me to have 4 random bonuses. I am actually going to use fragments now to show any player that doesn't know about this how it works. So the more stars that you unlock, the more random bonuses that you get. However, if you want to lock them in place, every one that you lock in place, it increases the amount of fragments needed to change the remaining bonuses that you want to swap. So because march speed 25% is such a good random bonus, I lock it in place. 10%, I definitely want to keep that as well. March speed 5%, this is the one I'm going to switch, and march speed against other players 10%, this is also one I'm going to switch. So as you can see, it's going to cost me 12 fragments. However, if I wanted to keep the march speed 5% and only go for one, it would increase to 25 fragments. So the gamble is, do I risk swapping 2 at a cheaper price, or do I only want to swap 1 specifically at a higher price? So I'm going to try and swap 2 right now, just so I can show you exactly what happens. When you click on it, it says, are you sure you want to change the bonuses? So it's good because the game lets you consider choices before you do them. So let's hopefully get something good. It says march speed against other players 20%, march speed against other players 50%. I don't really attack other players. Although it increases the march speed, I lose 5% march speed on regular marches. It allows you the option to keep current ones or accept new bonuses. I'm going to keep the current ones, and I'm going to try again. And here we go. It has changed. March speed from 5% to 10%, which I'm happy about, and march speed against other players, or Crypt march speed plus 20%. So what I'm going to do is accept the new bonuses. Now I'm going to lock the march speed 10% in place, roll the dice again on the Crypt march speed 20%, because I do not equip Carter with the thunder drum because he has the torch of Olympus. However, I use Tangle for Merc exchanges. I'm not sending him to Crypts, so what's the point having this random bonus? Yes, it's going to cost me 25 fragments, but if I get extra march speed, hopefully it works. Happy days. So I've gone back to what I had, which is march speed plus 5%. I think I'm going to keep it as that. I'm not going to try and roll the dice again. Now I've increased the random bonuses of that artifact to best help my captain do the job that I need him to do. And you can do that for all the artifacts. For example, Torch of Olympus here, Crypt Exploration, Rare Crypt Exploration. We already see the thunder drum. This one's really important, I think, when it comes to Straw and his resource gathering speed on the world map. You definitely want to make sure it is specifically just that, because when you're doing things like Trials of Olympus and you're doing fountains, you definitely want him to be as quick as possible as to not allow windows of opportunity for your opponents to steal from your fountains. Then we have the Chronoglyph. Now, a lot of players for the longest time have been harping on about having artifacts specifically for house captains. That's Aurora, Farhad, and Helen. When they released the Chronoglyph, which boosts Helen because Helen is food production and troop training speed, like I mentioned before about how artifacts and equipment work, it absolutely helps her do a much better job. Will they create new artifacts for Aurora to increase construction speed and Farhad to increase research speed? Who knows? My might score from my last video, I think it was around 82 million, and now just under 120 million. Which reminds me, for players when they're upgrading their city, when you get your capital to a level 39, it does require you to get your hero to a level 200. So I know that was a quick overview of those 4 artifacts, but I honestly believe that any player that's playing this game seriously should 100% invest in getting themselves those artifacts. So just a quick recap then of this entire video. What a year we've had. We've reached 9,000 subscribers on the main channel and 5,000 subscribers on the world channel. Thank you so much. 2 new tournaments and 4 epic new artifacts. The new update to the resources, so you can select how many of those resources you want to use in one go. Not forgetting the crystals in the Hall of Fame, so you can level up your Hall of Fame. And the new Dark Omens update has been released, so look forward to that. YouTube are most likely going to recommend a video now from this channel that it believes you need to see. And as always, I look forward to seeing you on the next one.